overhead, slowing down and making no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Those in the windshield.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gig App Rodeo Roundtable. Gotta welcome Kim Side Money Plans, Mr. Tom Kelly, Gig Work Mama Cheyenne, if you're nice to her. Only if you're nice to her, otherwise, because you got to call her Gig Work Mama. And Michelle. And again, I didn't give Michelle a proper intro last week, guys. I want to make sure to check out her DoorDash groups on Facebook. And I say that now because I actually have a great part to Facebook on the intro. I'm sure Michelle knows this. I am super, super stoked at what I hate. I very much dislike Mark Zuckerberg. Always have. I got turned off from Facebook way back when, after it became not about seeing what I wanted to see, family, and more like just advertisements and exploiting everything about me and them owning my photographs and just everything about it just became this nightmare. So now I do it on a business term thing, and I still have my account, of course, because they own everything in there anyway. There's nothing I can do about that. But I am very cautious as to what I do there now. I haven't liked a lot of what they've done. But this week, that was huge. It was. This was one of the biggest things to back the First Amendment that we've seen in this country in, I don't know, 7, 8 years. Everything seems to have taken away from the First Amendment. But I think we got to give Elon Musk some credit too. No matter how you feel about the guy, he changed X. It kind of changed, and it was perfect timing because it kind of changed Twitter. It kind of changed the landscape of even Facebook. And Facebook has been in with a couple grand juries and investigations, Senate hearings, committees, all these things, and they've been making them go through every hoop. They've been interrogating their workers. People are quitting. Beta has been a fail since it launched. And finally, they just got it to the point where Mark Zuckerberg just wrote the letter. He just put it out there. He said, yes. And again, this is not political. I mean, it is in the fact of what he did in the past. But this is not a political advertisement. This is just to finally clear up something, because it actually, no matter where you sat, it hurt us. And I'll bring up why in a second. So Facebook this week, if you don't know, Mark Zuckerberg put out the letter that, yes, he was influenced by the Democratic Party, the far left extremists, big time. And yes, he was removing posts. He was banning users. They were shadow banning posts, even if they were good, coming from users that had bad tarnished marks on them, all kinds of things. And he said that, yes, he accepted money for it. Yes, he took down everything Trump. Yes, he deleted accounts because of using the word Trump. So even if you used it and you're not a Trump supporter, you might have been deleted. And all this just horrible stuff. And then there was a thing known as, I think it was the Zuckerbuck or something.
Zuckerbucks.
Yeah, Zuckerbucks. Those will not be, he is not putting $1, and he's allowing his taxes to be open so that it can be proven. He's not putting $1 into this election on any sides. He's staying as partisan as can. And he said that the freedom to speak on Facebook is now back. You can post about things. You will not be taken down you will if you do malicious stuff or this, that, the other. But I think that's part of the problem. And we're going to address that tonight too, is that there's some bigger issues these platforms need to address. Illegal accounts, things of that nature. I mean, that's just gig space. But they finally are saying, write what you want. In fact, they say that, and here's where I relate it to everybody. So during the beginning of, and again, X is on, Facebook's on, Instagram's on, I think YouTube, of course, we still have to be very careful. But I mean, I'm not using candidates' names. I'm not dissing or harping on anybody. This is a platform, not a party. The party might have offered them some money, but in the end, the public platform took the money. So that's where we got to deal with the problem. But I don't know why. As much as I don't like the guy, I had a moment of, wow, I never thought I would see you do this. And I know there was a lot of pressure on him to do it from a lot of different directions and whatnot. And he knew that pressure was only going to get worse. That it was basically like, you need to tell the truth. or else we're just going to put this pressure on you even harder until you do. It wasn't about sign this, even if you don't mean it. It was, they knew the truth from him. They have for months, but it was, you need to put out need to make this very public. And he did. And so now, the freedom of speech is being restored. And I got to say, that's an amazing thing. It just is, because it makes me feel like we can talk about some of these topics here tonight, which also have gone completely public, though, as of this week. In fact, one of the things we're going to look at after we talk about a little Uber teen, and after I say hi to the chat, is I guess we'll get there. But in 2 weeks, by the way, I will be able to give you guys an update on Kim Cavan's fight in Georgia with 2 other freelance writers against she's suing the Labor Standards Act. She's suing the federal government. She's suing the Biden administration. She's suing the department. I mean, they've put her and Pacific Legal Foundation have them and I can give you guys the timeline, but I heard something today that was super positive. And if you know if you just know me and that I do interviews with Kim and she's awesome, not this Kim, she's awesome too, but, but even it's another Kim from New Jersey. So Kim's in New Jersey, just must be cool. So,
which is awesome.
But Kim, if you guys don't know Kim, I've done a lot of stuff with her. She is just a brilliant, intelligent person. And the other 2 writers involved in this lawsuit are pretty amazing too. And even the lawyers I've spoken with at Pacific Legal Foundation, and I just want to give her kudos because it's just pretty amazing stuff that she's doing for all of us, even us app-based gig workers. She's doing it all, working every day for us in ways that we don't know how to. Like we don't know those steps yet. I'm trying to learn some of them, but I kind of sit back and more watch what she's doing. But yeah, anyway, say hi to the chat here before it gets way crazy too long or not. What's up, Miko? What's up, Go Gig It? What is up, Traveler? Hey, Thomas. What, am I at the bottom? Okay. Hi, Kim. Hi,
Hi.
Becky. Hi, Cheyenne. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Joe. Hi, Ron. Hi, Tim. Gigwise. What's up, Bubba Sue? And Tyler Thurston and Joe on the go. Oh, that's Billy. What's up, Billy? What's up, Billy? What's up, Anthony Terry? What's up, Christopher Taylor? Christopher Taylor, I got your text about the article. That's crazy. We aren't going to get to that tonight, but just real quick, Christopher Taylor sends Kim and I articles a lot, and they're always good. But he sent me one, and hopefully I'll find a place to make it short or fit it in because it's pretty funny about this Waymo going the wrong way down the street, like against cars. Like again, they're live in Arizona where he is. What's up, Cody? How you doing? What's up, Spockers? How you doing, bud? Yeah, I know. And I see that Spockers is Zuck just sees the wind blowing in the other direction, so he's adjusting his sails. Yeah, I get it. But nonetheless, it wasn't like he just had to sign something and whatever it says, I don't care. I just want to move on. He had to sign what happened. He had to be honest. That could be very difficult for most people, CEOs, politicians. Honesty is not like a normal. If you go into a politician or a CEO job, honest person, you can just count on that being destroyed. When you accepted that much money, that was your soul that you sold for that job.
A lot of times, yeah.
What's up, Derek? I'm here legally. That's probably not funny tonight. We got some stuff tonight. What's up, Christy? How are you? Christy C. They both put the C at the end. Hey, Michelle. How are you? And I think backseat driver. And Christopher Taylor, thank you for the 2 memberships. Always good, always awesome. Thank you for that. But Tom is going to take us through Uber Teen, and I want to, before he even starts, I guess I want to ask him before you even get into it. Are these articles in any way supposed to help people, or is it advertising for Uber Teen because school goes back next week?
I think it's more advertising for Uber Teen because school goes back last week here.
But I still want to go through them because I mean, it's I don't know. Yeah,
I hate
first of
Uber
all, I'm
Teen.
biased. If you guys don't know, most of us on this panel are. We are, even if people on this panel don't do rideshare, we're all against it as parents, as human beings. I mean, from day one, it was no unaccompanied minors. Last year, they said, hey, you know what? Unaccompanied minors are fine.
Yep. And they've started this thing called Uber Teen. So just in case you're not aware of it, teens can now have on their phones an app that is controlled by their parents that allows them to order, and this is for 13 to 17-year-olds, allows them to order their own Uber ride. It automatically turns on file tracking or ride tracking, which I kind of laugh at it. Well, we turned that on automatically. My wife has an older iPhone. It doesn't work. I try to let her watch where I am all the time. She can't. It doesn't work. So I don't know what to do, for that. One of the funnier things in this article that I like too is every time a teen orders a ride, they get a PIN number, and the ride can't start until the PIN number is entered. Really?
Welcome, John.
My car won't go until the PIN number is entered. Yeah, no, not so much. The whole thing.
My car's hooked up to. Mine doesn't need a PIN number. It's got this little hose thing I got to blow in.
Oh yeah, well, exactly.
You just don't trust. I don't know, man. Your car didn't come that way.
Yeah, mine doesn't have that, but I got something I got to.
It must be a new model.
Yeah.
So the idea that, so the other day I had a pickup request in a junior high school, and I texted them on the way, "Are you a student?" And the reply back was, "No, I'm a mom." And like, okay. And so I went and picked them up, and she got in the car. And as soon as she got in the car, she said, "I'm really glad you asked me that question. That makes me feel safer." I said, "Yeah, I won't pick you up if you're a student." She said, "Even if they have Uber Teen?" I said, I've opted out of Uber Teen. I won't do it. And she said, "How often does it happen?" I said, "All the time. All the time." And this idea that somehow there's this magic that takes place that you don't have anybody can order. I mean, if you put the app on your kid's phone, they can be 8 years old and order an Uber. I don't know why they think this is magic or why they think this is safe. And the mother and I were talking that under no circumstances would she let her 14-year-old girl get in a car. She said, "With you," but she means any driver, or anybody who she doesn't know. I mean, isn't that something we were all taught as little kids? Don't get in a car with strangers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And especially the white panel van. And yeah, don't go help the guy find his puppy. Don't take candy. I mean, these are just basic things we're taught as children. And Uber is making money on it and getting you to make money on it too. So, it's highly.
That's the other question too, Tom. I mean, I've talked to people, and of course you can't put it side by side, but if you've done enough rideshare, you just know. But I've said, how much more are you making on those anyway? They said $2-3. That's it.
Oh yeah, because
it's so nominal. You're putting your whole future at stake over a couple bucks.
That's not worth
so,
it.
Yeah, and so you're not going to get. The other day, you guys will like this because it's kind of a side comment too. My phone popped up for a $200+ ride, and if you remember back, Bill, who used to do our Friday night show with us, he got one of those one time, and it was somebody who wanted to go downtown to Louisiana Street, but she put in the address wrong. And it was taking her to Louisiana.
Oh.
So I called my wife and I said, "This is probably a mistake, but it's saying there's a $200+ ride." And so I'm guessing Austin or San Antonio or something, but I'll let you know. So I pull up in front of this huge mansion. And the guy keeps texting. His name's Eugene. He keeps texting me, be right out, be right out, be right out. 10, 15 minutes. He's like, I know I'm taking too long. I'm sorry. I'll be right out. And he steps outside in just his shorts. And it's Adrian Peterson, the football player.
Oh, nice.
Who, if you Google him real quick, you'll see that he got into an argument with his wife on a United flight. So he's banned from United. And he missed his American Airlines flight. And 50 Cent is doing this new thing in Shreveport where he's putting together this huge studio. And so Dave Chappelle and Adrian Peterson and all sorts of famous guys who you guys probably know better than me, we're all going up there. It was 4 o'clock. He had to be there by 8:30. It's a 5-hour drive. I dropped him off at 8:28. Yep, I took the money. I did it.
Did he tip you big?
He took care of me. I'll just say he took care of me.
Yeah, we don't want to diss on the guy. Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good enough.
he-
If he took care of you, he took care of you.
Yeah, he bought me a tank of gas.
But he better have.
Yeah. And so it turned out to be, but you're not going to get that out of an Uber teen. You're not going to get a $200 ride. You'll be lucky if it's a $5 ride. So why would you want to do this?
And here's another thing that I last week I talked about this on the audio podcast last week. There's a new thing going on where Uber teen accounts, so many riders are opting out. I mean, normally in these scams, the newbies and stuff, because it comes pre-opted in, it's out of the box. You're already in Uber teen, you're going to receive them. But then you just go to settings like Uber Pet and you just toggle it off. I don't want Uber Pet offers. I don't want Uber teen offers. But a lot of people don't even know that, or they just let them go by to whatever. But like there are now not drivers who are avoiding, because when it's an Uber teen ride, it does say it too. There's a Uber teen. It does say that it's an Uber teen ride, and drivers were not picking them up. So,
but there's nothing that makes them
gone
use
back in the families where they find that they're not using them. The kids are going back to just downloading the Uber app of their parents back onto their phone.
Wow.
Parents are okay with it. Like, well, I thought this was supposed to work. Just download my app then.
What is wrong with
Wow.
parents? Seriously. Like, I know my daughter is not this old yet, but there's no way in any creation I would let my daughter get into a car with a stranger and trust this stranger to take her to point A and point B and not worry nonstop that something bad would happen to her. No, there's too many different factors. No.
Yeah.
And y'all may have heard me tell the story before. I did one time pick up an 8-year-old boy and take him to school only because it was starting to storm. He's out there in his little suit. He's got a little case with a musical instrument in it. He's supposed to go there for some kind of band practice thing early in the morning. His mom, I made him put his mom on the phone. Her excuse was she had to get to work early. I think that's a horrible excuse.
So she left her 8-year-old?
So she left her 8-year-old to be picked up by Uber. I wasn't going to leave him out there in the rain. I swore I would never do it again. Never have. I have refused to pick up people before when I pull up and it's, a couple of squealing 15-year-old girls where everyone's like, hey, sorry, no. And I even have it in my profile. When you look me up, safety first, no unaccompanied minors allowed. And I stick to that. But I wasn't going to leave the little 8-year-old boy out there. And I mean, really, it was a bad storm coming in. I got him to school just as it hit, and he went running inside. And I thought, she's really lucky it was me.
Yeah.
If it's a storm, I would have let the kid in the car. I'd have got out, called 911, said there's a kid in my car because some stupid parents let their stupid kid.
I thought about that. Yeah, I thought about doing something like that. Taking him to a fire station instead or something. But the school,
him in a basket.
I knew the school was. It was a few blocks away, but
please give him a better home.
Yeah.
I do want to go back here a little bit in the comments before we get too far ahead, because I think he's talking to somebody in the chat here, Eric Berry. He's saying that the discussion is about Uber Teen, but the conversation is about riders. I got a notification from Uber Eats saying I would now be getting Uber Teen Uber Eats orders.
Yes.
See, this is how ridiculous it is to me, because why? Okay, now we're into the why does that need to be an Uber Teen account? Like what that one, why wouldn't it just be the family's account?
Again, though, what are you doing sending a stranger to your front door when you're not home?
Oh, I'm not for any of this. I'm just saying, like in this case, you're just like, you're proving though that it's only a teen at the house.
Yeah,
that started today in my market. The Uber Eats.
That's my big beef with it, is that like if somebody is looking for some bad things with kids, and I don't even want to get into it, we haven't passed things, but to be honest, if somebody's looking to go down any of those roads, Uber Teen food order tells me that kid's alone at his house.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because there's no way the parent wouldn't just order.
That's right.
So I don't know. To me, that's again, it's just another sketchy. All you're doing is tipping off the bad people.
The other side of this, they're going to say, but it's so convenient and helps out the kids and helps out the parents. Parents don't have to be their kid's chauffeur and all that. Get over it. Get over it. Yeah, I'm sorry that you. So I'm going to quote my wife. Talking to her about this earlier today, and she said this, and I think it's so true. We all know, everybody who's listening to this right now, all know how this is all going to end. We all know. And it's going to be a horrible tragedy. And and we will all shake our heads and say, told you so, and it'll be awful. And
there's already been tragedies.
Yeah, but I mean it'll be something so beyond pale, because that's how these things always end, is in a horrible tragedy where people go, what were we thinking? So sorry. We'll stop doing that. You know, where did Zuckerberg think that stuff was going to go? He knew eventually it was going to end up with him having to confess. And eventually the guys at Uber are all going to go, yeah.
Then why didn't he just confess a long time ago?
Because he was going for the money, just like these guys are. They're going for the money.
But all he's done is lost tons of money. Tons.
Sure.
I mean, really, the company took a beating. Beta's just not what Facebook ever was. But so Eric is saying, for the dash cam recorder drivers, I guess Uber Teen may not be a problem. I'm going to say this. Kim and I are totally on that safety kick about display ride. Yes, we believe everybody should have it. All kinds of things can happen. And in fact, you might pick up on the display ride, another thing happening with a teen, but by no stretch do I endorse having a dash cam and then allowing. Uber Teen's just wrong in every way to begin with. You could have 10 dash cams. You could have a police officer in the car. I don't care. Like it's
and I don't mean to. I see Ellen's note, and I agree with Shiana. I don't mean to belittle any of the tragedies that have already happened. We already know this is a problem. I'm just saying, eventually something happens. And what my wife is saying is that eventually something happens that is so horrible and makes such an impression on America that day Uber will drop it and say, never mind, we won't do this anymore. But it will be so crushing to us that that's what we do. We wait till the tragedy happens.
Which is so sad.
Speaking of that, I do have to do just something real quick here. So Tremaine Hayhoe, if you guys haven't seen, Tremaine made a movie called Rideshare. You can watch the 4K full version on YouTube for free. His new movie, Simp, just came out. It is on Prime. It is $1.99 to rent it or $4.99 to buy it. It is Simp. It's a thriller. I won't give anything away. I'm giving him this free plug tonight because I'm in Rideshare too. I'm gonna be in Rideshare too. So, and there is a Rideshare too coming.
He told me I was going to be in it. I haven't heard anything else. But I got to catch up with you.
How hard would it be to take over Hayhoe Studios? I mean, we could just storm the gates.
I got to talk to you anyway, Trevor. So I need to catch up with you on something else.
But so okay, I'm going through these. So here's Go Gig It before we move on here. Oops. So now in Massachusetts, I have a PIN verified option for every Uber trip. I actually like this. I've told Tom many times, like in Europe, we go through changing this verification and say my name and PIN and blah 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 recordings and we've had recordings 17 times. Nothing works. But yet over in Europe, this is one problem they don't deal with. They just have an RF reader around their neck, has their picture that matches an actual RF and city coded badge that allows them to do gig work. And you can't get into a car until you PIN verify off the guy's RF. Okay, problem solved, America. Just implement that because all this other crap doesn't work.
That's actually pretty cool.
I have no idea why they don't do it.
In so many markets, we're hearing that DoorDash has went to PIN numbers. Drivers want it so bad. Drivers are so disgusted about I did not receive my order after they've had text messages and talked to them and met people at the door. They're so disgusted of getting these contract violations.
I don't know. You probably saw that DoorDash is now, I mean, it became law here, Michelle. I think you know that through Stephanie V. Hill's bill, but I think that you know that pretty much nationwide, I think we're all expecting this very soon. There is going to be an in-app deactivation rebuttal button in there.
It started.
Is it? I don't know if it's everywhere yet.
It for the most part rolled out earlier, about a week ago.
Okay.
And I've got it at the top and our marquee post on both big pages.
Yeah, I don't think guys don't start going nuts. I don't think it's in every market yet, but this is one that will be.
Yes.
This is one that they had it handed to them. The FCC has been looking into them for a while, and they had it handed to them on a couple issues.
What's upsetting to people right now, Steve, because people that are in and I can't emphasize much, people that come and join Facebook groups are people that probably just got deactivated and they're, oh my God, kick in the stomach. What do I do? I don't know why. And that's the big thing. I don't know why I got deactivated. And they're trying to find some route. Well, as soon as we started posting this, people that have been sitting there just in the lurch, like wanting to know, I've been deactivated for 2 months. How can I get back on? I don't think it's retroactive. Is it? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I just know it was pushed by the legislation from the states it's already in. I saw it as this thing of, wow, they're actually for the first time, and I'm not giving them kudos, guys. It comes down to a matter of which way will be cheaper for us, to fight it or to just give in at this point. It's just numbers. It's an algorithm running the numbers for the DoorDash. Like, which way is cheaper? Do we just put it on every state, or do we still fight this out a bit? And they have like all these statistics running at all times. So I think they're finally just caving on this one. We need to put this in every market.
I'm going to say I'm going to believe it when I see it. Like, not that I don't believe that this is coming to every market. The whole thing is they said it's going to be a speedy process, right? You can do everything on the app and then you'll get a decision, a rebuttal decision, a turnaround quicker, and everything's going to be quicker. Like the quickness part, I'll believe it when I actually see it.
Well, the problem that they're seeing, Kim, that's why I want to know if anybody's actually done anything with it, because what the drivers that have been deactivated say is, I've been locked out of my account. How can I go back and log in and fight this because I can't get on my account? So that's why I wondered, is it retroactive? I'm saying not. Is it when it starts in your market? Because that's the big thing. When you get deactivated, you can't log in anymore, right? I mean, I have not been, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I think you can still get into the app. You just can't go online.
Oh, okay.
Any deactivated app. I mean, I don't know how much movement you have in there. It might just be a single screen, but some of them might allow you to, because you could still, some drivers choose to, upon deactivation, I don't know how often this is, but I do know of some actually choose to, okay, I'm going in the app. I'm deactivating my account. I'm deactivating. I want it off their servers. Screw this. And so that, I think those kind of abilities might still be there as an account, but you're an account that can't use the platform.
Well, when I had COVID, I had COVID in 2020, and that's the most I ever earned on DoorDash, because they paid me for 2 weeks, but they deactivated me you were deactivated during your 2-week period. If anybody else went through that, that was a big thing.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they got money for that. But actually, I was on Postmates, Instacart, Uber, and DoorDash. I got paid on every single one. But DoorDash, I was getting $2,000 a week for 2 weeks. It was the most I ever made.
So Cody, on your comment here, I do have to say that the popping up, it just pops up saying your account has been deactivated. So now in Colorado, it starts actually in September, which will be Sunday. It starts the first. Some of it starts January 1st. Some of it starts September 1st. And September 1st in Colorado, on any delivery platform, if you are deactivated, you have to be able to have the right, and it will be there, challenge deactivation. It will be right there when you open the app. And in there, the problem, that's in where the problem starts, though. It's great, but the problem is it was supposed to be a driver panel, not a driver co-op. And the reason for that is co-op often refers to union. And yes, there are, out of the 8, there are 5 union delegates, meaning the 5 union people will be the deciding factor on every person. So they're going to have a 3 driver panel and a 5-person union panel. So my point is, you've now just opened the door for the unions. How much you let them in, I don't know, but we all know this. It's an old saying. Once you open that door for the unions, you can never close it. So that's a problem. I wish it didn't come with a problem. Again, this is just something DoorDash could have done from day one.
Yeah.
Errors. Hey, I was wrongfully deactivated. Cool, we'll look into that. Why wouldn't you?
Because they have an oversaturation problem. Let everybody on, and then we'll start
Well,
meeting
right.
people out.
You know, I don't know. You know, the answer isn't to wrongfully deactivate thousands of people per week, though, because eventually that's going to really come down on them. The FTC is already looking into them. I can say this. I had a conversation a year ago, Kim knows this, with the FTC. David Pickerel and I did. I cannot talk about that yet. I think that it's an 18-month thing. I mean, I can say that it happened, but he also can't talk about it. But 3 weeks ago, Gary Middleton had one.
Really?
So guys, guess what? They have asked us about some things as third-party app holders where they see that it's okay. Independent contractors are allowed these privileges. So they're not okay with this. That's kind of how it goes. I won't go any deeper, but it's kind of like that. And they understand that.
Oh, it's
What about?
DoorDash.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, what about the fact that people are disgusted with this platinum tier level, platinum, gold, silver, and then in some markets, if you're not platinum, you can't schedule, and people can't work to get that platinum status. It's unobtainable for many people. That DoorDash says that only people only do maybe 10 trips a week. 90% of the DoorDash drivers do 10 trips a week. How could they ever achieve platinum when you have to do 100 in a rolling month, 100 rolling in 30 days? And that's just unobtainable for people. They say they can't schedule, therefore they can't do DoorDash anymore. And, where's the independent contractor in that?
Well, I mean, the next thing we're going to move into is what they're going to do about a very big problem. I do want to address this, though. I want to make sure we get a couple of these things in tonight, though. But so Cody is saying, I have a weird question. Then say somebody gets deactivated here. He's somewhere in St. Louis area. I don't think he's in the city, but he's somewhere in the surrounding zone. So a different state, let's say Missouri, gets deactivated here. Then they go to Colorado. Can they use this? I don't think you could get deactivated in St. Louis, come to Colorado and challenge the deactivation. However, I bet, in fact, I almost know this for certain, but I will ask to confirm. But if you are here in Colorado for a month visiting family and door dashing and you get deactivated while you're here, you're under Colorado law, and then you could challenge it.
Yeah.
No matter where you live.
Yeah, we get that all the time about Colorado because people want that Prop 22 money, or they did.
Well, we're not going to get the Prop 22 money.
Yeah.
I just feel like DoorDash uses deactivations as a revolving door. Like, if you think about it, like they're always onboarding millions and millions, thousands of drivers. And okay, now we have an oversaturation problem. We onboard, we deactivate drivers. We onboard, like it's a complete revolving door. And I feel like
we use a $25 background check that if you've moved in the last 8 years, especially if you've changed states, you most likely fail 90%.
Yep.
That's my other point. Is like it all begins at them onboarding, and their background checks are crap. So there's really nothing we know about these people, other than they are tied to legal payments. They pay their taxes, those kind of things, which is a good little segue here, because we can talk about this now too, because this is mainstream media everywhere. And I got a little clip I want to play it, guys. It is 49 seconds. Please, if you are safe to pull over here, maybe just pull over, because some of it is words on the screen, but we will discuss at the end of it, because this is from today or yesterday, depends, because there's been a bunch of things happening here in Colorado, and there's a longer piece if we have time. I don't think we will, so let's at least see this.
The city nonprofits have lined up to help the migrants that have come here, but nobody is helping the American citizens, the residents that are trapped in these apartment complexes.
Today from Twitter, from the Denver police, yesterday at 3:10. So about 28 hours ago, the Denver police department takes the presence of Tren de Aragua seriously, and protecting the safety of our residents and our officers is always our top priority. If you're not familiar, Tren de Aragua is the most hardcore Venezuelan gang. They not only do they do a lot of the fentanyl and the drugs, but they are the number one for child and adult sex trafficking. The Denver police takes the presence of Tren de Aragua seriously. Protecting the safety of our residents and our officers is always our top priority. There are reasons to believe that the members of this gang are tied to crimes in the area. However, DPD is not aware of any apartment buildings being taken over by this gang in Denver. There are 3, by the way, that have been taken over, and a hotel. The Denver Police Department, in coordination with our law enforcement partners, continues actively investigating to learn about the gang members. Then it went on to say, like, if you need more cops in your area, please, they have hotlines now, because this gang specifically has started moving out from Aurora, where they are right now, and into Denver. So now they have these hotlines to have cops put over in your area quickly, because as you saw, these people are not being very casual about carrying machine guns. I mean, they just got them slung over their shoulders. That's Denver. That's not Venezuela that you guys were just watching. I mean, that's a resident scared. And there was another video about this, this resident who shows how she's lived in Aurora her whole life, and now she's got 6 deadbolts in a ram bar that she puts under the doorknob at night so that they can't kick in the door. She said she's scared to go outside to the trash. It's gotten horrible. And the reason we found out something that we kind of knew, but in the news today, the reason this gang has been targeting moving their people up here is because we are the number 1 per capita sanctuary city, yes, but they also, if you've never been to Colorado, if you've never been to Denver, 2 of the biggest interstates in the country intersect here, I-25 and I-70, east-west, north-south. So this is a midpoint to where they bring sex traffic people. And because of the gang activity and the amount of people, this is where they hub them from to other places. So for those of you wondering, for those of you who have said this isn't real, blown it out of proportion, really? Because now we have Border Patrol agents in uniform in Denver. I've never seen that in my life. So yes, things are bad. And it goes on to, then we go to the apps, and this is public news now, guys. So this isn't, we knew about this before, but we were careful about what we said. Now you can just Google, it's everywhere. Hundreds of Venezuelan immigrants are working on food delivery platforms across America, showing up at your door under names and identities that do not belong to them. The troubling consequences of 1+ million Venezuela citizens have flooded the U.S., largely illegally, during the current administration. By the way, I'm taking out people's names. That's how nice I'm. It raises huge concerns about the safety of home delivery apps and the consumer's ability to trust who is actually delivering the food to their home and family, with customers' personal information potentially placed in the hands of dangerous street gangs. They go on to say how this is the job they're told about before they get here. This will be their first job, will be food delivery. You'll be able to make some money. You'll be able to use a fake account. They're all told this before they ever get here. And so now it's, as soon as you get to the US, the first thing you do is look for a way to make money. Everybody points you in the direction of food delivery. But so for Tom's area, here's an example for Tom's area. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is now home to at least 20,000 20,000, Tom's Houston, but close enough. 20,000 Venezuelans, who are newcomers. If you don't live in a sanctuary city, you probably think, what a stupid term. I live in one and I think, what a stupid term. Quit making up words for the problems you created. But so when they get here, they are sent by everybody to a Facebook group called Venezuela's in DFW, where you will be sold a fake account and AI generated documents and blah, 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 blah. And you'll be making money in days. Anybody okay with that? Those of us who pay taxes, work hard.
We have people, all I do when I wake up about 3 or 4 in the morning is try to clear out all those accounts of, all the DoorDash groups, Uber Eats groups and all that. There's people trying to buy and rent accounts. They're wanting to do that. I was stopped for the longest time to try to buy my account here. And I think I've mentioned that I started year 5 2 days ago. And there was a time that my DoorDash tones went off consistently. There was never a time where I had a lack. And now with EBT and the amount of probably illegals here, I had 3 DoorDashes in 4 hours today, 3 offers in 4 hours today.
Wow.
That was it. Wow. In my market, 3 million people. But I'm doing Uber as well. So I'm making all my money on Uber, and I'm still going in the restaurants and I'm seeing 4 to 5 of the immigrants work.
And if you, by the way, if you guys, most of you probably can gravitate to what Michelle and I have seen. Kim has seen it. I don't think Tom has seen it, which is very strange. Luis in Houston sees it a lot. And he's from Venezuela. So he's the one always telling me about it. And this is his place. But yeah, there's a couple factors here that I hate. I am really confused why 95% of these people are this I'm just learning. I knew it was going on through there, but you get redirected off the transaction doesn't happen in Facebook Marketplace or any of those things like we thought. They're actually almost everybody gets redirected to WhatsApp. Now, I don't use WhatsApp. I always have seen that as a scam, but I think it's time for the Fed. You talk about something that needs to be regulated. That doesn't even need to be regulated. Just shut it down. I don't even know what WhatsApp does for people in a legal manner.
Why are they redirected to WhatsApp?
Because that's where they can charge money, I guess.
Because that's where you can change phones you can change numbers without changing phones.
Oh, well, this is also where encrypted messaging app. Oh yeah. It's done so that you can work with, because again, here's one guy that he just says this. He's been here for 8 months. and he's renting accounts for he's renting DoorDash accounts for $150 a week,
Right.
or you can buy it for $900.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, people are saying, I get this all day long. They're saying, why is Jennifer on the account, but Jose is showing up at my door?
Yeah. You hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
It used to be a
TikToks
running
about that.
gag before, but now it's very serious. It's very dangerous. Because especially now with these whole Uber teen accounts, you can have an Uber teen. Well, okay, not Uber because Uber is a little more strict. But let's say if they ever get on Uber, now you're going to have a random person delivering to your teenager that's home
There
alone.
you go. There you go.
Okay. I got 15 minutes to get through these last two, or Kim will kill me.
No, I just end stream.
But so these, I think I can flow through pretty well too. So this one, you guys might have seen, a lot of people might have seen this, was published yesterday in the early evening, New York Post, and then everybody else has picked this article up too. Scroober, the scheme reaping whopping 40 million in bogus surge fares for hundreds of shady Uber drivers. So this is kind of, it gets a little weird. It goes back to 2018, two guys. I'm not going to get into their ethnic background, and that doesn't seem relative to what I want to talk about here with you guys. The pair over that time made 1.5 million for themselves out of the 40 million ill-gotten fares from shady drivers, who even bragged about the scheme from it when it started in 2018. So what's happening is, and Tom and I had to kind of do the math on this one first. So, because there's been all kinds of spoofing things that go on since all of us started gig work. But what they're doing is they're spoofing a surge zone and then bouncing it back to your phone somehow so that you get paid that surge on your next ride. So what they did was took like 800 phones, gutted them, put this software on. One of them is a GPS spoofing. One's this piece. And then the main piece of the software is actually called Scroober. That's what they named it. That's what they named it for the drivers using this. And the drivers using this now get the full drop down of full pay, full transparency details, and they also are getting a bounced surge from an area that's surging that will be priced to the customer who shouldn't be priced to, who's already paying way too much, because this is on top of Uber money. So they're bouncing in a surge, and so you're paying twice as much as that already ridiculously high amount. And the drivers pay a monthly fee for this.
And so I looked into this a little bit more since you and I talked, Steve. And the funny thing is, people would complain, and the Uber person who they would end up talking to would say, I'm so sorry. Well, first he'd say, "Hello, my name is George," and then he'd say, "I'm so sorry. You were picked up in a high surge area," because that's all Uber sees on their side is you got picked up in a high surge area. It's your fault. If you didn't want to go, then you shouldn't have gone then. But so that's how they'd complain, and Uber would say, "Yeah. Sorry to be you."
Yeah. Well, I mean, Uber got screwed here too. I saw even Kim laugh, and I think it's pretty funny.
The name is kind of creative if you think about it. That's what I was laughing. The name is very creative.
I know, but they literally named it that in the 800 phones they made.
Fun.
And that's like,
That's
when
funny,
they did
though.
get caught, that's what's the name of it that they'd be caught under.
But that's the funny part. Like, anybody else find the sick humor behind that? It's kind of funny.
I do find that part funny. I mean, what they did to the passengers at a time when drivers can barely earn as it is, and taking only 800 drivers out of so many thousands, obviously, that's not really doing the drivers' mission any good. It's doing some drivers who got in on this good, but
yeah.
It does look like they're all in they're all going to be brought down on this. Who knows what'll happen to Uber about this? Because they're going to obviously have to address their people, like all their customers, things they hate doing too. They're going to have to address their customers and say, well, I don't know. I guess you've been being charged twice as much. We can't really figure it out, but you can trust us in the future.
I had a surge in my area a couple of days ago, $44.
Wow.
Okay, $44. Let's say that you are doing that 5 minute ride that normally is $5, and I was able to go grab that surge and put it on top, so you got charged $49. And you call Uber and say, "Hey, how come $49?" No, I'm sorry, you got picked up in a surge area. That's the way our surge pricing works. That's what they would have been told. So think about 800 phones, $40 million. The average driver on this one made 50 grand.
Unbelievable.
50 grand.
So to Eric Berry, real quick, you got off the phone with somebody in LA where Uber Teen absolutely exists in Los Angeles. I can't say why your friend doesn't see it, but Sergio, everybody else, we all know it's there. It's a big problem, in fact. But maybe either two things that I know of, either your buddy potentially toggled it off, which is the smart thing. All drivers should do that. Or he doesn't have 500 rides. I think you have to have at least 500 rides. It's a odd number they just threw out there. That's their way of saying that they're verified. No, that's their way of saying you're an experienced, double verified, awesome person to drive kids because you did 500 rides.
You're the best driver out there.
Please.
Because that's the qualifying factor right there.
Yes.
Kim's trying to buy time here. I'm going to make it. So.
I'm not. What do you mean? Because I said one sentence. Don't blame me on this one. You have 8 minutes. Go.
Well, so the last one kind of ties into something else. So if you guys saw any of the Be My Own Boss podcasts that Mike and I did, the last 6 ones, they were a 6-part series on we called it the Boston Massacre 2024 because it related to Uber Lyft drivers who are now paid $32.50 an active hour, got a bunch of BS bonuses and crap like Prop 22 and all that stuff. It's so funny. All the drivers are saying the surge is gone. I already made 32 before this happened. But in there, they also had to pay a fine of 300 and some odd million. And again, guys, sometimes I think we get a little thrown but it's Uber. That's nothing. For me, that'd be a lot. No, for Uber, that's a lot too. Well, as of Tuesday, Uber has been hit with the biggest EU fine they've ever had. So the Dutch on Monday, the Dutch Data Protection Authority announced it is fining Uber 290 euros or 325 million for violating the EU's sweeping general data protection regulation laws. So according to the Dutch investigation, Uber collected sensitive data about its drivers, including details, taxi licenses, location data, photos, payments, details, identity documents, and criminal and medical data, and stored them on a US server without using proper transfer tools. So they got fined, and I don't even know if it doesn't even get into if anybody was hacked or whatever. They are just there was a complaint filed by 170 independent French Uber drivers that brought all this up to where it is. But they got, from the EU, they got fined that just for doing it. So I'm glad somebody's catching these people before it's a problem. Usually these companies get caught after they get caught, and it's like.
He was very strict with data.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, that's, by the way, it's, so the data breach, in 2018, which was a huge one over there, or was here too. That was the 59 million people hacked. Uber only had to pay 600,000 euros. So just to put that into perspective, if you're thinking, well, it's Uber, how much is that? Well, if 600 million was for, oops, sorry that we let 59 million people's data get exposed completely, everything about them. if 600 million euros is now 290 million euros for just transferring the driver's data, you can also tell, I mean, I think all of us just kind of know how to read into these type of things. There are people just waiting with their teeth out to grab Uber right now for anything. And I got to say, you know, like in so many ways, I don't want to be like that, but I got to say that, you know, I mean, good for them because they've gotten away with for too much. You develop bad habits. Even companies do this. I mean, I've challenged people. I think Tom was maybe the first one to do this to me. I don't even remember. Driver Nation, like a couple of years ago, Tom might have said to me when we were talking about CEOs, and he's like, "Well, the name." He's like a woman CEOs, I believe it was too. He's like, I'm like, well, even she's nasty. Even she's nasty. And so we were talking about the Instacart lady, and somehow he was like, well, name me a good CEO who does awesome things for the planet. I was like a Fortune 500 too, not just any little company, but, and I was like, wow, I don't think guy or girl, there's any good people in there.
It's gonna be hard to
There's
find.
no humanitarians in the Fortune 500 CEO list. There just isn't. I mean, there might be some who play some because they have so much money, they throw some at some things, but in the end, it's about making more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's what I had. Obviously, it felt good to be able to talk about this a little more openly because I'm always like finding my ways to go around an article without misinforming you. But I felt like tonight, I left some names out of politicians and this, that, the other, but I feel like this was a good way to just talk about this and we didn't break any rules. So
Well, one thing I just wanted to share with you, you know, I've been in business forever, and in the government documents and specifications, illegal aliens are called illegal aliens. So I know the newcomers thing is the thing for sanctuary cities, but it's not wrongful or incorrect to call
no.
illegal alien. That's what the government terms all their documentation.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, first of all, it was get rid of aliens because we need to explain the real aliens that we've been hiding for all this time. So they had to talk about UFPs, unidentified phenomenon, whatever UAPs. They were like, we can't call them UFOs anymore because those are real. So we're going to talk about UAPs. UAPs are exactly like UFOs, and we forgot to tell you about it. So they took out aliens because aliens did that same thing. Well, we can't. There really are aliens, so we can't call migrants aliens. We'll have to go back to migrants. And
by the way, one of the biggest thing in DoorDash drivers with the combined groups, over 250,000 drivers, is safety. And when you view that, basically that with the guns, the long gun and the pistols that they had and the criminal way that they were acting, I go into apartment buildings like that on a daily basis. And, you know, I'm frightened, but what are you going to do? They want DoorDash. They want everything brought to their door. Who doesn't go into apartments? Most drivers dislike apartments, but they have no choice. They're hard to find. They're not numbered correctly, and people, it's, you know, people don't walk steps with 3 packs of soda when they're delivering.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 24-case bottle cases of water. Kim does that. I know she delivers food.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully she avoids that or tries her best
Well,
on the just water ones, unless they're tipping a ton.
The water, no, I don't shy away from water. I have strong arms.
Say water again.
Shut up. Shut up. You have 1 minute. Shut up.
drivers is a great topic to discuss at some point. So
yeah, and also next week, there's a story brewing about Canada, and I'm going to let Cheyenne lead it when we get to it because it kind of ties with us. But guys, I am out of here. We're all out of here because, well, we ran out of time. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week. Peace.
She was slapping at the tempo, playing